Okay, now inbreeding, what is inbreeding? So first we should learn what is inbreeding. Inbreeding is breeding technique within genetically similar individual. A breeding technique practice within genetically similar individual. Genetically similar individual. Now, when we talk about this genetically similar individual, if we take a species, when you take one species, again we have a diversity within the species. So we have a huge diversity within the species. Now, how this is possible, we can understand like this. Take a species, dog species. Now, within dog species, we can find different different phenotypic appearance. We can find different phenotypic appearance, right? Now, why is this? So we take another animal, we take horse. So again, we can find some kind of a different phenotypic appearance, maybe the skin color. But when you take an elephant, we don't see much phenotypic changes. Now we have to ask why this kind of phenotypic changes spread among animals and plants. As I told you, these breeding techniques are very old. So when human practice breeding techniques in the past, they separated some kind of a phenotype and they try to maintain the same phenotype within the population. So then this phenotype increase. So it's again the human-made event. As a result, we have a kind of a genetic differences among plant and animal. When we take this genetically similar individual, we have animals, a breed, also called race, and when you call plants, varieties. So this is for animal, this is for plants. But they are one species. They are one species, but within the species, we have the breeds and varieties. Again, we have divided into a subcategory within the species, a breed and varieties. Now, when we take a breed, if they have one type of breed, let's say, example, this, and then we can practice breeding within these two genetically similar breeds. Why it is important and what is the outcome? At the end, the next generation looks similar and then keep on similar generation throughout this breeding programs. I mean, even many years pass, it remain as a same kind of a breed for many generations. Why they are doing this? Because what we discussed so far, the factors, maybe the yield is high, the quality is high, they are resistant for disease, they are resistant for bad environmental conditions, and their uh, the appearance is good, aesthetically they are good, and the end user satisfaction is good. So same for the plant. So if you use a similar kind of a plant, and the F1, F2, F3, all generations, they have similar phenotype. So when we have a similar phenotypes, we maintain the desired quality throughout the breeding programs. So this is after naturally selecting, for example, the human or man select this, the parents, without any manipulation. They don't do any manipulation. If they found naturally, they are really good, and this they're going to use for the breeding, and breeding happen within the same population within the family. So if it is like this, and they identify first, like in the, let's say in the first place, so they found a breed which is really good, and then what happened after they breed, they get their F1 generation. Now when they get the F1 generation, breeding can happen within F1 generation, breeding can happen within P and F1 generation, like this. And after that, we get a F2 generation. So F2 generation, again, breeding happen within them, breeding happen within the F1 generation or within the parents. I mean, we can understand beginning there is only two, but what will happen with the time, the population increase. So they are origin from same genotype, and this genotype keep on flow, the gene flow keep on going to all the offspring. They all show have the similar phenotype. So this is the inbreeding, breeding with genetically similar individuals. So we can practice this also for plants. At the end, all the plants shows the similar phenotype. So is this clear for you, the inbreeding?
Uh, so that means we breed between two organisms of same individual means what, sir?
Same individual, like started with, let's say, this one, starting the P1, yes, then what's your question?
So what is that? What is interpreting the meaning, sir, really? Definition?
Inbreeding.
Yeah.
This is the definition, right? Inbreeding is breeding within genetically similar individuals. Genetically similar individuals.
Uh, that means they don't go to variations like
No,
normally we.
that's yeah, that we have discussed actually. They have less variation as there is no genes or alleles coming from different alleles are not coming from others, because what we expect if natural selection happen, random mating and all these things mix up. There is a maximum chance of mixing up the alleles. But here, alleles are not coming from outside. They're not mixing with outside alleles. The same allele flow throughout the generations. Only if mutations happen, so we haven't discussed, that's a little bit problem actually, the syllabus. So mutation is coming in the next section. But we are talking about mutations. But I explained you a little bit about mutations. If the DNA sequence change, then we can expect there will be a new allele. So that can happen. The mutation can happen, DNA sequence change, new allele can form. But that is very small frequencies. It's happening in a small frequencies. It is not happening in a big way. It's a slow process. The only thing is new alleles can mix up if they breed with another different type of individuals. But we are restricted. If it is happening in the farm, they only use one type of breed, one type of variety, and they're not allowed to mix with other varieties or breed. So at the end, we can define this as a pure line. Just like a pure line, we remember that not pure breed and pure line like things genetic in Mendel genetics. We discuss these things. They have a same kind of a genetic background. The flower colors are blue. All flowers are blue in all the generations. That's the pure breed. So something like this is the pure line now.
So within, if an environment unfavorable condition is given, all will not survive the condition then.
Yeah. In this case, the disadvantage is they have something called it's called homozygous. The more about the homozygous increasing, because genetics, we believe the heterozygosity is the most important thing. So more heterozygous, the variations are higher. But when we make this pure line, what is increasing? Homozygosity. The homozygosity is very, very unfavorable situations because it make very less genetic variations. So we call it homozygosity increase or genetic fitness decrease. Homozygosity increase or genetic fitness decrease. So this phenomenon, right? So it's very important, this word now. We are using it, inbreeding depression. So this is a very important word, inbreeding depression. So what is inbreeding depressions? Inbreeding depression is decreased genetic fitness due to inbreeding, or increased homozygosity, or decreased genetic fitness is called inbreeding depression. As a result, if environmental conditions are unfavorable, they are not, the survival is very less, because natural selection, there are many variations. If something happen, one can survive. It's very because of the variation, but here variations are less. If something happen, a large amount of population can be affected because they don't have alleles. to fight with these unfavorable conditions. Okay, in this method, I think both we can discuss plant and animal produce, especially crops like wheat and barley. They produce in this way. I think another one we can see this what is it called? This banana we can buy from the supermarket. What is it called? This variety. You can see they don't ripe quickly, and they have a very strong, the covering. It's selling in the supermarket, even in Sri Lanka, everywhere you can buy this one. Can't remember the name of this banana. So it's also coming from this one variety, and this variety is increasing within a population. Only that population used to make the pure line, but they are resistant for diseases. So once disease come, not disease come, it spread all over these banana plants. Fine. So this is the inbreeding. So what is inbreeding? Breeding between genetically similar individuals, and how they maintain. When they identified individuals, then allow to breed. After that, when the population increase, the breeding happen within the family. So many years passed, 100 years or 200, 300 years passed. All individuals came from common parents, and then this is a pure line. Genetically, there is a less chance of increasing the alleles because no mixing of alleles, same allele increasing within the population. So this causes inbreeding depression, which is known as genetically they are not fit enough, or they have more homozygous genotype. So as a result, environment insult, they cannot resist. So we have this wheat, barley, like many plants coming from this inbreeding technique. Any questions about inbreeding? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now the next, inbreeding also practice in animals. For example, the dogs. The dogs maintaining the pure line. If it is a German Shepherd, so mostly they try to maintain within the German Shepherd populations. So here, one thing is they can find the partners for breeding with a little bit different background, but at the end, if you go back to the origin, when identified a different phenotype, like in the history, they identified the shape of the German Shepherd like this, and they first cross these two dogs. When they get the pups, then again they cross within this family. But after that, it become a large family now, because all over the world they are distributed, but it become a large family. So it's a pure line, and it is usually maintained as inbreeding. So if we look their genotypes, are more susceptible for diseases. That's why we commonly talking about the stray dogs are very resistant for disease, but these dogs need care, vaccinations and selected food and proper care is required. Otherwise, they easily get sick, and their lifespan is also not so long than the stray dogs. So we can understand practically what is the effect of inbreeding. One hand, it gives us a end user requirement, is appearance and all thing is nice, aesthetically nice. But the other hand, genetically, they have to fight with these disadvantages. Now the next one is outbreeding. Inbreeding, second one is outbreeding. Now what is outbreeding? Outbreeding is breeding between same species but genetically different. Breeding between same species like before, but important thing is genetically not same, genetically different. Now, how we can explain this? Let's take a cow. So this cow is giving a high milk yield. This cow is giving high milk yield, and we want to cross this cow with a bull to get more F1, F2 like generations. So the farmer prefer to have this kind of a cow because his milk yield is high. So his income is high and he can get a higher milk yield if they raise this kind of a cows. And you know, at the same time, what is the practice in farm? What if we get a male milk and female? So if you get a female cow, that's fine. He can use this cow for milking. But if you get a male cow, he can't use for milk. Now the farmer prefer to select these male for meat productions and female for milk production. So if farmer wants to have this kind of a strategy, then he prefers to have a bull with a larger size, right? So he take a bull with large size. As a result, he has to also select something called the bulls are aggressive. So docile, this word docile is they're not very much aggressive. I'm taking one example. Why it is important? Because if the cow is very aggressive, it's difficult for milking. So farmer is looking now all the aspects. It can get more meat, and docile is this bull is not much aggressive. Now he can select this breed in different breed now. So if we look again, cows, we have different breeds. So like the big Frisian like milking cows, and then Indian type of cows like Cebu like cows. So they are different breeds. So these breeds in the history they have selected when they notice different phenotype, they try to separate as a different population, and we call them now breed. So they are one species, cows, but they have a different genetic backgrounds, and I will call it breeds. So breeding happens genetically different backgrounds, and at the end, farmers select a population which is good in milking, and also if they get a male cows, they have a good size. So this is something like they can keep on breeding until he get a generation which shows these kind of good breeding characters. So example like Indian Cebu cattle can be a breed with a Frisian cattle. The Frisian cattle are the one you can see in Aurelia farms, like a black and white big cows for milking. And this could be one example of outbreeding. So is this clear? Any question about the outbreeding second method?
So like if you take two types of dogs and you cross it, that is also an outbreeding, no?
Yeah, that is also outbreeding, but I think the problem is we can do it any two dog breeds, but what is the aim? What is the aim of doing this? We have to first look. If we can get some advantage, then it is worth. But I think dogs, the values are higher with the pure breeds. If we cross a German Shepherd with let's say Great Dane, or German Shepherd with a Rottweiler or any breeds, then we get a mixed phenotype. Somehow this mixed phenotype has no value. People will not like this mixed phenotype. It's very difficult to market as a new phenotype. So at the moment, the dogs pet industry, there are set of breeds. They have a high market value. It's just like introducing new product to the market. Not that easy. If you have an existing product, uh, it's very easy to market. For example, uh, just you are going to introduce a, a brand like T-shirt, Nike, Adidas, like brands are there. So you're going to introduce new brand. It's very difficult to market because people will always go for this existing brand. So if we can mix two dogs to get a new phenotype, but this phenotype hard to market because people always now look the existing phenotype. Otherwise, it's within a species. You know, the breeding, the definition of species is they can interbreed to produce fertile offspring. Interbreed to produce fertile offspring. That's fine. So they can keep on mixing and new phenotype. So this come under end user satisfaction. So if end user satisfaction fulfill with the new cross, that would be okay. And also animal breedings and plant breedings. It's not easy for animal breedings because of some restrictions and some ethics and some concept and acceptance of people, like things are a bit different. Yeah, we can find a lot of informations and examples. The horse, race horse, how they select the breeds for the better race, and cows, sheeps, dogs in animals, and also plant. It's okay, we can do this one. if we identify a plants which is good in yield and good in taste, one type, then we can mix. We get the next generation. Yeah, that's outbreeding.
What is this?
So next, I should start here. Third one. No. Inbreeding, outbreeding. Third one, hybrid. Okay. Now we can use previous method we about inbreeding or outbreeding. At the end, when inbreeding or outbreeding, when they have a desired phenotype, then the desired phenotype they keep for the all the generations to keep on breeding. Finally, this become a pure breed then. Now, if we understand the dogs, we believe that dogs are genetically similar to the wolf. So if you go back in the history, wolf, they are in the wild. But somehow wolf change the phenotypically little bit. And the day came a man raised the wolf and they become a dog after that. Now we have a dog species. After the dog species, when we have a dog species, different phenotype, different phenotypes change into pure breeds. So they become now pure breed. It's same with plants. So this is man-made thing. So this is happening in many years back, not in 100 years, maybe more than 1,000 years like times. This happened. So as a result, this pure
So,
line painting. Sorry.
so can you explain again so my internet connection is unstable?
Okay. Right. Let's see what we discussed from the beginning, like inbreeding. So inbreeding, we expected at the end, this become a pure breed. It takes many generations to become this pure breed. Now, in outbreeding, what we learn, okay, there is a breed with a desired character, and there's a genetically different breed with the desired characters. Then, if we mix them, so we get our F1 generation that we would like to keep on. So at the end, this F1 generation become again pure breed. So this is inbreeding, this is outbreeding. Now you can see the difference, genetically similar, genetically different. At least outbreeding is much better because they are mixing two genetic backgrounds. So compared to the inbreeding, outbreeding has mixing of two genetical different background, male and female. Now we have this pure breed.
So outbreeds also can make at the end the parental pure breeds.
Yeah, You see the first one, the two colors represent the parents, but when they get this offspring have desired characteristics, and they keep on increasing these populations to have this kind of desired characteristics. So all population, then they have desired characteristic. For example, as we discussed, this is for the milk, this is for the meat. Next generations, they are having these both desired characteristics, milking and the meat purpose, both are okay. So they have both characteristics in the next population. Now in hybrid, they're going to breed two pure breed, right? So they're going to mix two pure breeds. So if this is a one pure breed and this is another pure breed, so hybrid is to make these two pure breeds. The breeding happen between two pure breeds and this one. That's a hybrid.
So it's like, that Mendel's experiment, right? Between the two pea plants, tall and short, like that.
The first genetic experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was purebred of one side, the other side another purebred. And when he did the Gregory Mendel, he did manually the pollen transfer between two bred to make new plants. That's like a hybrid. So yeah, that we can consider as a hybrid. Now mixing two purebreds is the hybrid.
Got it.
Okay. Now the reason we have to find why they are doing this. Now here we can understand inbreeding. If they spot a good character, then they mix this male and female to maintain the good character. And now here again, they are doing it for the outbreeding to maintain the good characters. Now, what is the reason of mixing two purebred? So mixing two purebred, it's just like having a hybrid car. So hybrid car is one is running with the battery, other one is running with the petrol. So it increased the quality. So the hybrid technique is breeding between two purebred. So I didn't write it here. Okay. Definition is breeding between two purebred organisms. Could be plant or animals. Now we're doing it to increase the quality. Again, it increased the quality. So this is called hybrid vigor. Again, that's an important word, hybrid vigor. So hybrid vigor is the enhanced genetic fitness if we mix two purebred. The genetic fitness is increasing in hybridization.